Okay, so today I'm going to be sharing information related to applying to the Master in Special Education program. We currently have 3 different options within the Masters in Special Education. The first one is what we call our interdisciplinary option. This is the Masters in Special Education with the most flexibility in the sense of you get 15 credits of elective coursework. And what that means is that you can choose an area of research that you're most interested in. This also gives flexibility for those who have graduated from our post-baccalaureate certificate in special education to get their teaching license. Then they can come back, and if you do the interdisciplinary track for our Master's in Special Education, then you have the option to double count 12 credits from the post-bac program. And so usually that's a nice fit for those who have done that pathway first. But again, the interdisciplinary option is really great for those who are interested in something in particular, or if they're kind of interested in a more global idea of special education, then you could do that one. Another option that we're currently offering is a literacy specialist emphasis. So this emphasis is great for those who are already licensed teachers because it's actually an added field through the Hawaii Teacher Standards Board, which means if you were to pursue this program and you got your master's degree in special education with the literacy specialist emphasis, as soon as you finish the program, you would actually be eligible to add literacy specialist to your teaching license. And so in that sense, it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. It is a summer admit only, and the literacy coursework is a series of 6 courses that are co-taught or done through 2 different departments. So one department is special education, and then the other department is curriculum studies. And so it's a partnership to offer those 6 courses. So it's kind of a K-12 specialization just on all literacy. And those 6 courses are actually cohorted, which means you start in one summer, you'll take 2 courses in the fall, 2 courses in the spring, and take your last literacy course in the second summer, and then you would just finish out your master's degree coursework afterwards. And then the last option within the Master's in Special Education would be our BCBA track. So this one is specifically for those who are looking to become a board certified behavior analyst, which is an option as a national certification in applied behavior analysis. And so again, it's a series of 6 courses on top of the master's level courses. So all of these options are 30 credits. But I would say the BCBA track is only those who actually want to pursue national certification, because there are additional requirements you have to meet, such as fieldwork and supervision hours and passing a national exam. So some people come and say that they're interested in autism and they're interested in some applied behavior analysis, but they don't want to go for the national certification. And if that's the case, then I would actually recommend you pursue the interdisciplinary option and just focused on ABA and autism, and you could pull in a couple of those courses as your electives. But basically, those are the 3 options we offer. And so when it comes to applying for the program, you're going to need to decide which option you want, because of the start dates are a little bit different depending on your track. So for example, let's see if I can get a spotlight here. So the interdisciplinary option, sorry, that didn't work, is for fall admissions only. So if you are looking at doing the interdisciplinary design, you have to apply for fall. The literacy specialist is summer only. And then the board certified behavior analyst is actually one that enrolls every semester. So you could do a fall, spring, or summer. But basically, there's going to be 2 applications that you need to submit. And so let's go ahead and start with the UH system application. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to share a different one. So just a second. Okay. So in order to apply for the UH system, keep in mind that this is the official application in order to be admitted to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And so this is the only application that will actually have a fee attached to it. Okay, so to get to this application, you go to apply.hawaii.edu. Oh, look at that, they changed it, just a second. Oh, they changed what it looked like. This is surprising. Okay, so go to Manoa Graduate right here. Okay, now if you've attended UH before, then it's highly likely that you'll remember your login. What's highly unlikely is that you'll remember your PIN number, because the PIN number is 6 numbers. It's not your password. So don't worry. If you can't remember what your login and PIN number is, don't click on this and try to wait for someone to get back to you. My recommendation is to just create a login ID and PIN number. So start over. And the reason I say that is once you fill that out and you put information such as your social security number, they'll be able to attach the two IDs afterwards. And so rather than just waiting around and trying to figure out how to log in, just start fresh and start a new account. But I have one that I am going to use, so I will go ahead and put it in there. Okay, and so I've entered the application. You probably won't see all of these applications open. It'll probably just start a brand new application, but if you had started an application before, it would show up on this list. But I'm going to go ahead and push new. Okay, so when you are applying, your institution is the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and your site has to be UH Manoa main campus. And this is only tricky for people on Maui, because sometimes they'll choose Maui University Center, but don't. Everyone that's applying to the Master in Special Education program has to choose UH Manoa main campus. And then for your application type, you would need to choose graduate studies, but you have to choose the semester that you're actually applying to. So for this example, I'm going to choose interdisciplinary, and that one starts in the fall. So I'm going to choose fall admissions and push continue. And that's very important, because if you choose the wrong application type, you would have to pay again at the end in order to submit a new one. So make sure you choose the right semester that you're applying for based on the program you choose. So again, you choose your admission term. So for this one, I'm choosing fall 2019. And then you would need to type in your first name, your middle name, and your last name. And they just remind you to please spell it correctly in the sense of capitalizing the first letter only. And then go ahead and click out fill out application. Okay, so the UH application is pretty simple. You can actually do it pretty quickly. It's just 10 things, and a lot of it's just personal information. Just some tricks. When you go into permanent address, if you click this box, if your permanent address is the same as your mailing address, click the box, because then it'll two checkboxes will be checked off at the same time. So then numbers 2 and 3 would be checked off. You wouldn't have to type it all in again. Some other tricks, citizenship related data. A lot of people skip this part at the top. They don't read it. It says, citizens, please skip this page. So if you are a US citizen, please don't even worry about filling any of this out. Just push continue, okay? And what'll happen is it'll go to your residency declaration. Make sure you fill this out so you can get in-state tuition, so residency. Most likely you're gonna fill out section A, you're gonna skip section A2. And then for section B, just say if you went to a different institution, most likely you say no. And then these are just exemptions. And for the most part, most of them will, most applicants will not fall under any of these. And then you would just click none of the above exemptions apply to me and continue on. But since I'm not filling this whole thing out, I'm gonna go to return to checklist. And as you can see, number 5, citizen related data, is checked off because I just went in and skipped it. I pushed continue because I'm a US citizen. I didn't need to fill that out anyways. Okay, planned course of study. Regardless of which track you choose, So if it's the literacy specialist, the interdisciplinary, or the BCBA, you will choose the same program, which is Special Education MED. Okay, so choose that. And what's really weird about the UH application that I don't like very much is if I were to push continue, it would give me an error message. And it's because it says that this program has concentrations or specializations available. And so watch what happens. I'll click enter concentration, but then there's no options. So don't worry about that. The place where you're going to indicate whether you're pursuing the literacy specialist, interdisciplinary, or BCBA will be found on your other application to the college. This one, you just leave it like that. It'll just say select. And then this statement right here is just saying that you understand when the admissions deadline is. If you are trying to apply after our deadline, then you're running the risk of just not starting, which would happen in our case. We do not accept late applications. So you have to just say that you understand, yes, I need to apply by the deadline. Okay, and then continue. What's great about this is you are going to put in your high school information. You don't need transcripts or anything like that. They just want to know what high school you went to, and you can actually look it up. So you can do state or country, not both. So if you're in Hawaii, then you just choose Hawaii, choose a city. So I've just been choosing as an example here, Kahuku High and Intermediate. Next. And what's nice is it'll automatically populate the address and information for you. So you don't have to worry about it. And then all you would need to do is put when you graduated down here. And then push continue. And then here's your college where you went to, any of it, if you went to a community college or a four-year institution, all of your universities need to be in here. Again, the same thing happens. You just search for it and it'll automatically populate the address. What you need to fill out is what you think your GPA is. If you know it, great, put it in there. If you're not quite sure, put an estimate. They're going to verify it anyways. And then just select when you went to school there, what your degree was, and what your major was. Don't write anything in these boxes unless you can't find your major on there, because you can't do both. So just choose one. And yes, you need to fill out for every institution you've attended. So what happens is you'd fill out the first one, and then you would just say, you'd click this button down here, add or view another college or degree. And what's kind of weird is when you click it, you know, it'll either filter through ones you've already inputted, or it'll be a blank one and you just fill it out again. Now keep in mind, whatever institution you have gone to, they are going to want official transcripts from. So even if you went to, let's say you went to a community college on the mainland and you transferred to a four-year institution and then you came to Manoa, not only would you have to send Manoa your degree from your four-year institution transcripts, but you'd also have to send that community college transcripts as well, even though it already got transferred into one. They want to see every single institution you've been to. The only transcripts you do not need to send are UH system transcripts, which means if you went to UH Manoa, UH Hilo, UH West Oahu, or any of the community colleges in the state, then you don't need to worry about those transcripts. But if you have gone anywhere else, then you are going to need to send those transcripts in. And there's nowhere to do it or even indicate it on this application, but it needs to go to the admissions office. And so that's why I've put the address of where you need to send it to on the application checklist, which I will refer back to at the end to kind of show you where that is. But just make sure that you also do that. So once you submit this application, fill out and send all the official transcripts. And again, UH is really picky. So let's say you already have sealed official transcripts. You could try to give it to UH, but you might run the risk of them not counting it as official and then making you do it again. So my rule of thumb is hold on to the official ones that you have if you already have copies, and get new ones sent directly from the institution to UH Manoa. Okay. Let's see, continue. Okay, and then that would be it. So basically, there's one other section where you'd have to fill in personal information. You know, they're going to ask for you for your ethnicity and certain things like that, social security numbers. But once you finish those 10 items, you're going to come to this page, which means you're done. And then when you continue on, there'll actually be a form that you can fill up and pay online using a credit card. And the fee for graduate applications is $100. It's non-refundable, so make sure that everything's correct and that this is the program you're applying for before you pay that. But once you do that, the benefit of applying early and submitting this application first is this is the application you need to submit in order to apply for scholarships. So you already want to complete the UH scholarship application form, and you're going to use the ID that is given to you after you submit this application. So do this one early, get it out of the way because it's really fast, and then go ahead and look into our scholarship database to try to find if you are eligible and apply for some additional scholarships. What's nice is that the scholarship deadline is the same as our fall admission deadline, so it'll be March 1st. So make sure you fill that out as well. But let's say you're filling this out and you don't have your official transcripts on hand and you wanted to refer back to it. You could always say finish later, and it'll take you back to this page, and then you would just click on the admission term of the application you were working on to go back into it, and it'll show you that it's here. And then again, application is complete is the one you're going to use when you actually want to submit it and pay for it. Okay, but that's the UH application. Pretty easy, pretty fast, so get that one in early. The next application is a little bit more involved. So this is our College of Education application. So it's makale.coe.hawaii.edu. Okay, so this one's a little bit different in terms of how you get in. If you do have a UH username and password, so your regular one that you would use for your email, then you can directly log in and get to your application here. If not, if you actually weren't a UH student previously, or you don't remember or anything like that, then actually down here you would need to create an account first. You'll input your personal information, and then they will email you a link, and from that link you will enter your application. And then let's say you start it and you need to come back to it later, then that's when you would use this personal email and password. So there's two ways to get in, but if you're using a personal email, you will have to create an account first. But I already have one, so let's see. Oops, that didn't work. Let's try this one. Okay. So if you've applied in the past or if you've started applications, you'll see it here. Otherwise, again, it might take you directly to a new one. So I'm just going to start a new journey. There's a lot of clicking in this application, so don't worry about it if you kind of feel like, why do I have to keep clicking? So select a degree and program for start. Okay, this one is pretty simple in terms of where to go. So choose master's degree. Choose the master's in special education, which is down here. And then the semester, so again, depending on which one you choose, so summer would definitely be literacy specialist and fall would be interdisciplinary, and then you can choose either one for the BCBA. Unless you're doing the DOE funding, which is just for fall 2019. Okay, so I'm doing interdisciplinary, so I'm gonna choose fall 2019. And then here is where you're actually gonna list which track you wanna do. So again, I'm pretending that I'm applying for the interdisciplinary option. So push continue. This is just giving an overview of the program. You should have already received a lot of other information here. These are great. So they put funding options on here, financial aid office, grants and scholarships. So if you did want to complete that scholarship form, click on that. And then if you are looking for like an assistantship to work at UH while you go to school, then you can use this link, although it says work at UH and they just changed it, so I'm not sure if that one's going to go to the right place. If not, email me and I'll try to find you the new link. But push continue. Okay, advising, if you've been in touch with me, then that's good. You probably understand the program. So my information, although that's my personal email, I prefer that you contact me through spedinfo@hawaii.edu, just because that's where I keep track of all the applicants. But just push continue again. And then here we go, confirm your program. So push start. Okay, this just says I am aware of the requirements of the program I'm trying to apply to. Push continue. And here is the actual meat of the application. So this is the most important part. So click start. So in general, the reason that this part is a little tricky is when people think of a checklist, they think, that after it's, you can only check something off after it's completed, right? That is kind of the case, but not necessarily. So just understand that you won't be able to submit your application until all of these are done. So make sure that they're all checked off. Don't ever just leave it as is. People have done that in the past. So basically, you'll just want to go down each of these. So say view this task, apply to UH. So as long as you've done the first application that I showed you, then you don't need to worry about reading all this. Although, look, they did give you the address of Graduate Division if you wanted to send your transcripts there. But just check the box that you have submitted that other application. Okay, and then it'll change and you'll see a little check here. Okay, bachelor's degree. Yes, I have a bachelor's. Let's say you are graduating this current semester. And so you're applying for fall, but you're graduating in May. If that were the case, it's fine. Send unofficial transcripts for now and just let them know that you will send them the official ones as soon as your degree is posted. So as soon as you finish the program and it's posted. So that's fine. Okay, save. GPA. So there is a 3.0 GPA requirement for all graduate programs at UH Manoa. That is a standard requirement. So let's say you have a 2.97. If that's the case, you're just clicking here saying that you understand the GPA requirement is a 3.0, and you're running the risk of being denied based purely on the fact that you don't have a 3.0 GPA. It is possible, maybe with a little bit below 3.0, but you'd have to have a really strong application. Okay, and then push save. Okay, prior experience. So the Master's in Special Education does say that you have to have some kind of experience with individuals with disabilities. Okay, so just say, yes, I have some experience. Click that. Did you submit your transcripts? Again, here's the address just to remind you. If you did want to submit unofficial transcripts, you could do that here, but you're going to need the official ones, so you might as well do that first. And then once that's done, say yes, I've uploaded it, push save. Okay, video recorded response. So this is all the stuff that takes a little bit more work. Okay, video recorded responses. So basically what this is replacing face-to-face interviews that we've done in the past. Basically, because this is an online program, we are using online platforms to do your kind of so-called interview. It's not really an interview because what's going to happen is you're going to see a pre-recorded video of one of our faculty members asking you a question. You're going to have a 30-second wait processing time. So if you have, a notepad next to you, maybe you want to jot down kind of triggers to remind you what you want to talk about for that question. But keep in mind, it's only 2 minutes per question. So it's short and sweet. They just want to kind of see you, they want to get to know you, and they want to hear the, talk about that, whatever their question was. So just make sure you answer the question and kind of move on. If it does cut you off, because it will automatically stop at 2 minutes, don't worry. It's not, that it's bad and they won't look at it. Now, if you get cut off every single question, they might think you haven't learned in relation to the time limit. So try to stay within the 2 minutes, but if you do get cut off at one point, it's okay, just move on to the next question. I think it's a series of about 5 questions, followed by a half-hour essay, recorded essay component. And the reason we have this is because we've actually gotten rid of the GRE requirement. So we used to require the GRE, but now we don't because the GRE is not offered on certain islands. And so it was kind of unfair. So what they've done instead is, because they need to know that you can write in order to do a master's program, you will have a half-hour to write an essay based on the prompt that they give you. So overall, I would say that you would want about an hour of uninterrupted time to get through the video recorded responses and essay. And if you start and you don't have time to finish, you can come back to the interview as long as you remember your email address that you used, because some people have multiple ones. So you use the same email address information to log back in. The thing is once you see the next question or essay, you can't stop and come back to it. So just keep that in mind, that if you're going to come back to it later, you have to do it before you see the next question. And so the link to all of this, you have to get directly from inside this application. So you would click on here and then fill it out and do it. And then here's a PDF of the directions. Okay, so that one causes some anxiety sometimes because it's new and it's a different format. And so some people aren't comfortable just sitting in front of their computer and talking, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. You can practice, and I've actually created a demo that you can refer to if you would like to practice. I found a free software online that allows you to actually go through this video recorded response process. The questions are obviously different because they're using their platform for jobs, applying for jobs. But the process and what it looks like and what it feels like and how you go through it is exactly the same as what we're using. So I recommend that if the format is what's causing you some anxiety, then to go in and do the demo. And the link to that is bit.ly/video. And then you can see it right there, recorded response demo. And it'll look like this. So it's just a sheet I created basically explaining what it is, what we're doing. I created an introduction here so you can actually watch me do it. And then here's for you to practice. So I tell you how to download it, set it up, and practice. So if you really want to practice, go ahead and try that first. Just keep in mind that that is not the real one. In order to get to the real one, you have to click on this link inside your application. Okay, so that's video recorded responses. Statement of objectives. So they're asking you to discuss the objectives of your graduate study, your area of specialization, and your long-range professional goals. So you're going to want to write this on a Word document. You can write it before you even start this application. You can go ahead and look into that. And then what happens is you'll just upload it directly to here using this link. So what happens is it'll just say, okay, name it. Usually put like your name, your last name, underscore, and then resume, or name, underscore, statement, or whatever, so that we know what it is when you upload it. And then you would just click upload. Oops, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. And then once you're done, just check the box that you've done it. Okay, and then we do want your resume. So same thing, just go in here and they have a link in here for you to upload your resume. People ask me kind of what needs to be on the resume. Anything that can attribute to your experience related to pursuing this program. Yeah, your current employment, things like that. So after you submitted it, you can check the box here. And then the last thing is your letters of recommendation. So you will need to contact 3 people to write a letter on your behalf. What'll happen is once you put their name, their email, their phone number, and then you choose like how you know them, their role, see these little boxes here, they're automatically going to be sent an email with a link to upload your letter for you. So that way you don't have to do it. They don't have to send it to you first. They can just upload it directly. Let's say you already have the letter and so you don't want them to have to get that email, then you can uncheck this box and they won't receive that email. So make sure, you know, it's set to automatically send it to everybody. But if you already have a letter in hand because they already gave it to you, then just uncheck the box next to that person's name so that they don't get sent that email to upload it again. The letters do have a grace period, so your references will be told they actually have until March 15th to get it in. So if they need a little bit more time, that's fine. And then they can do it in any of these ways. Fax it to us, mail it to us, things like that. Now let me show you what'll happen. So I won't be able to finish the application right now, but once all of these are checked off, you'll just have a next button and then you'll go through a couple more clicks, just verifying everything. And then it'll say, thank you for submitting your application. So let's pretend you already submitted it. And then your reference says, oh, I didn't get the link, but here's your letter of recommendation. And they give it to you after you've submitted the application. That's fine. What you're gonna wanna do is click on your name in the top right corner and go to My Documents. And here is where you can upload a document. Or you could even send them the link yourself. So you can copy, this is your personal upload link. So you could send it to them in an email and say, hey, if you click on this, you can upload my letter of recommendation. So either way is fine. We do prefer that it comes straight from the reference. If it does come through you personally, then we would prefer that it actually has a signature on it, a wet signature. Whereas if it came directly from them and it's from their email, then we don't need that signature per se. But that's how you get to that. And at any time, if you need to go back and start over, you change your mind, then you can just click the My Macaulay on the left side, and then you can either continue on from where you left off, or you can start over there. So those are the 2 applications. And then once you've submitted those, then we'll start processing everything. And then let me go back to this checklist. Let me stop this. Sorry, see me again. And share. Okay, and so again, this checklist is just you know, a supplement to kind of help you throughout the process so you can keep track of where you are and what you've already picked. The primary thing for you here is right here. That's the address for your official transcripts. And then anything that you have that you want to send directly to our office, like letters of recommendation, you can also send in there. But just remember, if you are applying for summer, the deadline is February 15th. So that would apply to the literacy specialist and board certified behavior analyst if you're doing summer. And then fall admissions has a deadline of March 1st. And we do not accept late applications in general. And so you definitely want to make sure that everything is in time. But if you run into anything tricky or you have any other questions, definitely reach out to me. The best way is by email. And so that would go to spedinfo@hawaii.edu. Or you can email this email right here, which is sped@hawaii.edu. That one would also work fine in terms of applications. All right, and that's it in terms of applications. So we look forward to seeing your application. Thank you. Okay.